impact on our economies, the impact on the food production, on malnutrition of the peoples of our alliance, and the most vulnerable. We have to focus our efforts on the most vulnerable. This is why we have, within the ALBA Bank, devised many financing policies. The main purpose is to relaunch the ALBA Health Program, and now the Food ALBA program that goes from fertilizers, food distribution, prices, to ensure food for the peoples of ALBA. So we have different instruments that we will submit to you in order to relaunch the agriculture production in our member states, and especially in the Eastern Caribbean countries, because we know they have been severely hit by the fact that there is no tourism in those countries. I'd like to give the floor now to the Vice Minister of Economy, Oil and Industry. He is going to make some few remarks in the framework of the anniversary of Petrocaribe and some other considerations that have to do with the economic field. Good afternoon. Greetings from Venezuela, the homeland of Simon Bolivar and the cradle of the Bolivarian Revolution, inspired by our commander Hugo Chavez. Good afternoon to all Ministry of the Political Council and the Complementary Economic Council of ALBA. The introductory remarks by the Foreign Minister opens the debate of the importance facing the future times once we will overcome this pandemic that is threatening humanity. And one of the issues that is an important concern for all peoples is the economic recovery. From ALBA, we want to different post-COVID era, post-COVID-19 era, towards the building of a concrete, real, and productive economy. This, of course, will rely on the vision that our countries have to favor the most affected countries by the pandemic. In Venezuela, we believe that we need to move forward towards what Alicia Bárcena has called a new economic geography, which will be more inclusive and sustainable, which will entail a different approach among all the cooperation, the international cooperation organizations that will be much less reliant on foreign aid. So, from Venezuela, we propose the relaunching in the framework of the 15th anniversary of Petrocaribe. And I would like to share with you, dear ministers, brothers, and to share with Venezuela and with all the peoples of the world our regional integration mechanism that has always worked on the basis of solidarity, that has always favored the energy sovereignty of the region. Petrocaribe has been attacked by imperialism many times. And from the United States, they have also tried to devise an alternative to Petrocaribe to try to stop our sisterly organization and cooperation organization that today is a concrete reality. This is the reason why they have attacked PDVSA in the past. And sanctions have been causing a lot of pain to cooperation with the Caribbean countries and with other countries as well. However, Petrocaribe goes beyond this because Petrocaribe has a lot of strength and principles that go beyond the pressure against Petrocaribe. So we have already devised a formula to relaunch a new beginning, as President Maduro has called it, a new vigorous, strong, dynamic relaunching of Petrocaribe, a new energy infrastructure and approach that will have a concrete impact on the quality of life of our peoples. This is a response in the face of the historical moment and the present juncture and in the whole world, but mostly in our region. This is the reason why we say that Petrocaribe needs to tap in the existing capabilities such as storage capabilities, refineries, real productive capabilities, joint ventures, because we have made many efforts and advances so far, and we can relaunch all these mechanisms. With us as the Vice President of International Affairs of our powerful company PDVSA, Jander Peña, and the Secretary of Petrocaribe, Raúl Licau. And they have devised already the exact formula under which Petrocaribe is going to function in terms of cooperation, and we will forward this formula to all of our friends from ALBA. And this is how we intend to relaunch this new mechanism to circumvent all the difficulties that we will surely face in the future times. I think that the starting point, and one of the starting point, would be Petrocaribe, and the second drive, important, fundamental drive to face the new economic times, is the Bank of ALBA. Both strategies, ALBA Bank, which will allow us to set a new regional financial system with new mechanisms of compensation, financing, technical advisory in all the countries of the region, is included in this strategy I want to share with all of you, dear ministers. So, we have Petrocaribe and Bank of ALBA, two driving forces that will give new forces to ALBA. These are like the two arms of ALBA who are going to drive the powerful new mechanisms of ALBA, and that will help us to face the current circumstances created by COVID-19. So we propose to all of you these documents on which we have already worked and that we're going to share with all the ministers of the Economic Council, the Complementary Economic Council of ALBA, in order to make which has all the contributions that have been made so far, and to use these documents to move forward to the creation of new systems, to identify potentialities in our countries, to give the priority to a complementary approach so that we can trade goods and services among us that will complement our economies, and also to work in another instrument which will be an alternative to the classical, typical financial systems. We need to move forward also in the setting up of institutional infrastructures. Petrocarib, in the short term and in the middle term, needs to devise new incentives for the productive economies, and we need to be more flexible, more dynamic, and to really understand the moment, the present juncture, and to give place to the regional cooperation thanks to these instruments that I am sure are going to set an example in the rest of the world. So I am very grateful with the foreign minister and the political council that has allowed us to make these proposals so that we can move forward in this sense. And I'd like to reiterate congratulations to all the countries that are in ALBA and beyond ALBA. I would like also to congratulate all those countries who have made it possible that Petrocarib today is what it is 15 years later, which is the ever-living hope of our peoples to face the future. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vice President Tarek El Aissami, for your oral presentation. He told us about the two arms that are going to drive our alliance if we made the proper decisions in this juncture, right? We also need to address the social matters, and it has been said by our President Diaz-Canel. He has said many times that ALBA has played a unique role in terms of social programs that does not exist any else in the world. Our policies in literacy and social policies of the Bolivarian Alliance are remarkable. But so if we want to continue having or playing this role in our societies, we need these two arms, as El Aissami said, Petrocarib and ALBA, then will make it possible to relaunch the economic zone ALBA Petrocarib, which was the dream of Commander Hugo Chavez. It is the first time in ALBA's history of 10 years that we have a joint meeting with the political council, the foreign ministers, and the economic complementary council, represented by the ministers of the economy of our countries. Venezuela also proposed, before I give the floor to the rest of the member states, Venezuela also proposed, going back to the spirit of Commander Chavez in 2001 in Monterrey, Mexico. Commander Chavez proposed to the world in a financing summit for the development of the United Nations. He proposed the creation of a humanitarian international fund, not the IMF, but a humanitarian international fund. So 15 years later, we proposed to our friends from ALBA. There are mostly islands. We have only two continental members, Venezuela and Nicaragua. I am sure that Bolivia will soon return to ALBA, but the rest, besides Nicaragua and Venezuela, the rest member states are islands, and they need to be ready, not only to face the contingency of the COVID-19, but they need also to prepare for the hurricane season that always creates havoc in the brothers of the Caribbean. So Venezuela proposed the setting up of a humanitarian fund that will be managed with the resources from the ALBA Bank, and that will be working at the service of countries. And in the face of any kind of natural disasters, we will be ready to lend our hand. So I would like now give the floor to our friends, ministers of the economy of the various countries, and respecting the addition order to our alliance, I would like to give the floor to the Minister of Cuba, Bruno Rodriguez Parrilla, and the Foreign Trade Minister, Rodrigo Valmierca. You have the floor.